Welcome to the Sarah Behn basketball shooting video. Sarah learned to shoot the basketball correctly at a very early age, and through hours and hours of practicing, she became one of the best shooters this area has ever seen, male or female. Like any other skill in any sport, shooting the basketball can become a reflex, which will lead to positive results when practiced in the proper manner. Sarah's career actually became recognized when she was only 10 years old, when she defeated all contestants in the Pepsi Hot Shot program that culminated in the finals in the Boston Garden during halftime of a Boston Celtics basketball game. She went on to the Nationals, representing New England for 2 consecutive years. She stormed onto the high school scene and led the Foxborough High School team to 4 spectacular years. In her senior year, she averaged 41 points per game and broke the state scoring record, winding up with 2,562 career points. She became a high school All-American and attracted attention from over 100 colleges around the country. She accepted a full scholarship to Boston College in Chestnut Hill, Massachusetts. At Boston College, Sarah continued her barrage of scoring and wound up finishing second in the nation 2 consecutive years. She holds numerous Boston College and Big East records, including the all-time leading scorer in Big East history, male or female, with 2,523 points. Since the WNBA had not yet been formed, she took her basketball skills to Europe for a year and played professionally there. She was the leading scorer in Central Europe, playing for a team out of Luxembourg, where she averaged 35 points per game. She turned her focus into helping others learn the fundamentals of the game of basketball by forming the Sarah Behn Basketball Camp for Girls 6 years ago. She coached 3 years at North Attleboro High School, North Attleboro, Massachusetts, and is currently the head coach of women's basketball at Framingham State College, Framingham, Massachusetts. She attributes most of her success to learning the fundamentals of basketball correctly and then practicing relentlessly until they became a natural reaction. If you can learn how to shoot the basketball properly from this video, the sky is the limit for you as well.
Hi, I'm Sarah Behn. As you can see, I was fortunate enough to enjoy a very successful basketball career. Good coaching and a disciplined work ethic got me to the highest possible level of competition, women's professional basketball. One of the main reasons I excelled throughout my career was because I focused on the fundamentals of playing the game correctly. Of all the different skills involved in playing basketball, the one area that I mastered over the years is the actual shot itself. In this video, I am going to teach you a step-by-step approach to shooting the ball correctly. The term that I use to shoot the ball is the word beef. As we all know, beef is spelled B-E-E-F. And although we all like to eat beef for dinner, it is also a great way to breaking down your own shot and remembering it. For our purposes, the word beef will be used as an acronym. Each letter in the word beef, B, E, E, and F, will be used to represent a different part of shooting the ball correctly. When we're done, if you put all 4 terms together, you will have a fundamentally correct shot. Let's begin with the letter B, from beef. When you're shooting the basketball, B stands for the word balance. Balance. Balance is essential in all athletics, but especially when you're going to shoot the basketball. By balance, I mean your body weight needs to be balanced. Whether you weigh 75 pounds or 275 pounds, your body weight needs to be through the center of your body. What I want you to think of is an apple and the core of an apple. That's what I want your body weight to be like before you shoot the ball. If you think about that core, it would go right through the top of your head, down through your spinal column. You need your body weight to be symmetrical before you even think about taking a shot. Now to do that, we need to have our feet in a specific spot. That spot is shoulder width apart, as wide as your shoulders are. You can't have them too wide, and likewise you can't be too narrow when you're going to shoot the ball. The next thing you need is just an athletic knee bend. Okay, that means just a little bit of a comfortable knee bend. You can't be crunched down when you're going to shoot the ball, and you can't be stiff like a board when you're going to shoot the ball. You need to be comfortable. The weight of your body needs to be resting comfortably on the middle part of both feet, or the balls of your feet, just about right there. So I have my feet shoulder width, I have an athletic stance, and I have the weight of my body resting on the balls of my feet. Now, to see yourself do it or see me do it with no defense is easy. But to do it in a game, when there's a defender in front of you and fans and all sorts of distractions, it's a lot harder. There's a great drill to do that will actually teach you how to get balance when catching a pass. It's called the semicircle drill. Now, I guarantee you, if you do this drill for 5 to 10 minutes a day, becoming balanced will become very natural to you, and it will be an automatic thing that you do when you catch a pass and are about to take a shot. If you go out into the driveway or into the gym, like we're in now, and you just get kind of near the basket, you're going to put your back to the baseline. And I'm simply going to do this drill in a semicircle pattern, right around that way, and then I'm going to stop and come back in a semicircle. What I'm actually going to do is toss the ball to myself, pivot. As I'm catching the ball, pivot, square myself up to the rim, and think about that core of the apple. That's what I'm going to do. Okay, again, I'm going to throw the ball to myself. I'm going to put a little bit of backspin on it so that it's easier to catch. And I'm going to throw it a little bit higher so that I have time to run under it and catch it. Just like that. Now, as I reach for the ball, I have to establish a pivot foot. Pivot foot should be always the one closest to the rim. In this case, it is my left foot. I'm going to pivot and square the rest of my body around until I'm facing the rim. That's called squaring up to the rim. Right now, my shoulders, my hips, my knees, and my feet are pointing squared to the rim. Now, once I've done that, I'm thinking about the core of the apple and whether or not I'm balanced. Right now, I feel balanced. Balance is key because in a game, when there's defense, you might get a little nudge from behind, or the pass might not be exactly where you want it, and you have to be able to get it to where you feel balanced and then shoot the ball. And that's usually where people miss the mark. Again, I'm continuing with the semicircle drill. I throw the ball out to myself, and I reach for it. As I'm about to pivot, a good way to pivot is heel to toe. I'm reaching for the ball, and I actually have my weight on my pivot foot heel, my left heel. And then as I turn, I put that weight on the toe, and now I'm squared. So as you reach for the ball, it's heel to toe pivot, square, and then balance. Again, throw the ball, reach, heel to toe, square myself up, balance. Now, when I go back the other way, it's the same exact drill, except now I have a different pivot foot. I have my right pivot foot, the one closest to the rim. Throw the ball with some backspin, reach. Oh, I'm wobbly there. Heel to toe. I square. My feet are shoulder width. I feel balanced, and I'm ready to take the shot if I had to. Again, reach, heel to toe, square, balance. Every single time, I'm thinking about that core of the apple. If you do this drill enough, it will become a natural reflex for you. Every time you catch a pass, you'll square up and you'll be balanced. And that's going to help you become a great shooter. E. E from beef is now standing for eyes when shooting the basketball. We did step one, which was B for balance. So if you think about shooting in a sequence, you first catch the pass, get your body squared to the rim and balanced. The next thing you need to do is to pick a visual target and a mental target. This is also an area where a lot of kids don't seem to understand how important it is. Every time you take a shot on the basketball court, no matter where it's from, you need to have a specific visual target. and you need to concentrate on hitting that target and making the shot. A lot of times, kids do something that I call huck and hope, which means they catch a pass, get balance, and then just shoot it, actually having no target in mind and just hoping that it's miraculously going to go in, and often it doesn't. So concentration and picking a target is absolutely essential. What I'm going to do is just go to 4 spots on the court. They're actually half of a semicircle, so they would be the exact same spots on the other side of the court. And I'm going to teach you where you should be looking when you shoot the basketball. If I take a shot from the baseline, my shoulders are squared, my weight is balanced, and the target I want to be concentrating on is actually the center of the rim closest to me. Right now, I'm taking a shot from the baseline. My visual target has to be the front of the rim closest to me, and then the dead center of that rim. There's actually a hook, if you look up, that is about in the dead center of this rim squared to me. Once I've caught the pass and I've squared my body and I feel balanced, I need to keep my eyes fixed on that spot. And what I actually do is envision the shot or the ball going in right over the inside of that hook. That's the absolute best place to look when taking a shot. When I move to a second area on the court, the spot that I focus on completely changes. The lane that I am in right now is known as the shooting lane, or the layup lane. This lane is actually 45 degrees from the baseline. So if I walked this way and then out to the baseline, I'd be at a 45-degree angle. So I'm here and I walk straight up. Another good marking point is the actual block on the court, which can be seen on the sides of the foul lane. This is an indicator of where the foul lane, or the layup lane is. When you're taking a layup, your visual target needs to be a specific one. That spot is actually the top corner of the square on the backboard. When I take a layup, my eyes need to be fixed right on that top corner. And just like when I was taking a shot on the baseline, I need to envision my ball hitting that top corner, high and soft, off of the backboard. If I take a layup, I keep my eyes there, and as I do my footwork, my eyes stay there, and my ball actually hits the target. A lot of times, people miss because they hit too low off the square or too hard off the backboard. The key to making layups is high and soft off of the corner closest to you. Right now, I'm on the left side of the basket. My eyes stay fixed on the top left-hand corner of the backboard. The next area of the court that we're going to shoot from and teach you how to pick a visual target is kind of in between the layup lane and a shot which would be straight on looking at the rim. Right now, I'm at kind of an angle that would go all the way out towards the elbow of the court. You might have heard your coaches use that term before. This is actually the elbow. Now, this is also an error that players make. If I am just outside of the layup lane, I do not want to use the backboard as my visual target. Now I'm dealing with the rim, just as if I were shooting from the baseline. So I do the same thing that I did over there, and I pick the rim closest to me and the spot that is in the dead center of that rim. Right now, I have my eyes fixed on a spot right in the middle, actually that hook that is in the dead center. And I picture my ball going in over that hook on the front rim. Again, I catch a pass from my teammate. I square my body. I think about balance, and the rest of the time I keep my eyes fixed on that spot. I really concentrate on making the shot. The final spot that I want to demonstrate where you should be looking at when you shoot is just a shot straight on to the rim. My shoulders are squared. My target is the middle of the rim closest to me. Again, the hook on the center, the eyelet, that's where I keep my eyes fixed. I catch the pass, I get balanced. I think about my balance, and I'm picturing where my ball is going to go right over that front edge of the middle of the front rim. That's where my eyes and my brain stay focused. I do not want to deal with the back of the rim or the backboard. That often will change the flight of your shot, and you'll end up missing more than you should. Right now, I'm going to take a shot from straight on. I'm squared to the rim, and I've chosen my target as the hook on the center of the rim closest to me. You'll notice that my eyes go right above the ball. That's my line of vision. Sometimes players, especially younger players, try to shoot up here or way down here, and that's incorrect. The best place to shoot, especially when you're younger, is right here where I'm comfortable and my eyes look literally right above the top of the ball to my point on the rim. So I'm about to shoot, my eyes stay focused on that rim, and I picture the ball going in right over the front of the rim, just like that shot just did. The third part to shooting the ball correctly is the use of your elbows, your shooting elbow and also your offhand and elbow. Again, if you think of shooting in a sequence, the first thing we did was B for balance. Catch the ball, get your body weight balanced. The second part was to pick a visual and mental target where you wanted the ball to hit so that you could make the shot. The third part is actually what your arms are going to do when you shoot. Again, each part is important, and this part is especially important, and it's also another area that I happen to see a lot of players don't really understand what the actual true form is. When I go to take a shot, the angles that I have my arms at, and also the places on the ball are extremely important. As we want to balance with our body, we also need balance on the actual ball, the way our hand is positioned on the ball. Especially when you're a younger player, example 10, 11 years old, and your hand is smaller, it's even more difficult. Something that you can do that will help you get balance on the ball is to put your middle finger in the air hole on the basketball. Once you've done that, you can evenly distribute 2 fingers to the left of the air hole and 2 fingers to the right of the air hole. Now that my hand is balanced on the ball, I'll have a better chance to make the shot. The angle that I want my wrist to be at is actually 90 degrees. It is cocked under the basketball and under the rim, just like this. An error most players make, or some players make, is to put their hand on the side of the ball, or to have their wrist like this. That wrist needs to be at 90 degrees under the basketball, and to have the best balance, put your middle finger right in that hole. Okay, my wrist is set. Now my elbow also needs to be at 90 degrees. So if I look at this part of my arm and wrist, it actually makes like half of a rectangle. I've got 90 and I've got 90. Now, that's easy to do when you're by yourself. But when you're in a game and there's a defender and all sorts of distractions, it's harder. So if you want to perfect this, it's going to take time, and lots of time. The best way to do it is to come out under the basket about 1 foot from the hoop. I recommend at this point taking your left hand and putting it behind your back so that you're not tempted to use it. The way I taught myself to get the 90 and 90 angles that I was looking for was just to take hundreds and hundreds of shots, just like this. Every time I would get my own rebound, I would find that air hole again, cock my wrist under it, make sure that I had 90, check my elbow, and pick my target on the rim. Now, once that you have this, a big mistake that players make is they move their arm or their hand around right before they release the ball. Sometimes players will look good just until they're about to shoot, and then they kind of rock the baby, as I call it, and then they release the ball. You want the least possible amount of motion in your arm before you release the ball. Okay, again, here, 90, 90, I'm ready to shoot. The key is now that I keep this part and this part of my arm still. The thing that is actually going to shoot the ball is my lower body, my legs. My legs are going to do the work to get that ball up in the air. 90, 90. My body at this point is going to coil like a spring. Down, and then it is going to spring up. And as it springs up, my arm just releases up, and the ball is released and shot. My legs are doing the hard work, putting the ball in the air. This is the biggest mistake people make. They're here, and then they throw the ball, and it becomes a shot just from the arms, more like a shot putter in track. That is not the correct form. The correct form in basketball comes from your legs. Your arms are set, I have my angles, and now I'm thinking of the spring. I coil, and I spring up. Now we go to the fourth part of shooting the ball correctly. It's letter F from beef, but when shooting the ball, it stands for follow-through. Follow-through is what your shooting arm does after you've released the basketball. Now, there are a lot of different ways to do this, but there's really only one correct way, and it will help you become a better shooter. If I'm outside about to take a shot, once you've got balance on the basketball, which we've already discussed, when I'm going to follow through, I'm going to extend my shooting arm and actually straighten it and reach up to the rim. What you can think about is like reaching for a cookie in a cookie jar on top of a shelf. So after I've already coiled like a spring and sprung up, I'm just going to reach up into that cookie jar and finish the shot. The follow-through is actually the finish work of steps 1, 2, and 3. Step 1, we catch the pass and get balanced. Step 2, we pick our visual target. Step 3, we get our arms and elbows set. And step 4, we finish the work. And as like the other steps, they're all important. If you have an incorrect follow-through, it can negate your hard work in steps 1, 2, and 3 and cause you to miss the shot. A proper follow-through goes from the wrist being at 90 degrees under the basketball and rim to being fully extended and flipped over the top. When you actually have your wrist like this on the ball and you can flip it over and have your fingers pointing down, the natural thing for the basketball to do is to spin. That spin is called backspin. The more backspin you can get onto your shot, the better shooter you will be. I practiced this for hours and hours, how to firmly flip my hand over the top. By having the basketball placed on my fingertips and having the ball balanced on my hand, the more firmly I could flip my wrist over the top, the more backspin I got on the basketball. It's something about physics where this is round and the rim is round. The more spin you can get onto your ball, the softer it will be on the rim. So if your shot isn't exactly perfect, it will have the chance to kind of bounce around and soften and fall through the net. If you don't flip your wrist over the top, you'll have a knuckleball, which is something a baseball pitcher would throw. When it hits the rim, it's going to be hard, and it's going to bounce out, and you'll miss. So backspin and your follow-through are extremely, extremely important. Again, my hand is under the ball, coil, over the top. The next part to having a good follow-through is to hold your follow-through. This is another area where players forget it. Sometimes when you're tired in a game or there's defense and it's late in the game, people will get balanced and be about to take a good shot, and they shoot, and then they just kind of drop their arm and quit on the shot. If you drop your follow-through too quickly, it kind of erases your hard work. You need to keep your follow-through up and extend it and hold the follow-through. You're also training your brain and your body to stay with the shot. There's a drill that I like to teach. It's called the 3-second drill. And it's simply a little shooting drill in which you hold your follow-through for a count of 3 seconds. And then you move to a new spot. You shoot, extend, Your arm is straight, fingers are pointing down, and you hold for 3 seconds. I'm going to demonstrate that now. I'm going to take a shot from here, keep my follow through, 1, 2, 3. Then I'm going to move across the court for my second shot, catch the pass, square up, shoot, and keep my follow through, 1, 2, 3. I'm going to go back and forth several times, concentrating as much as I can on finishing the shot, staying with the shot. 1, 2, 3. Then I run to this spot. Catch. 1, 2, 3. Run to this spot. 1, 2, 3. I run to the next spot. Catch the pass. Square. 1, 2, 3. Next spot. 1, 2, 3. Next spot. Catch. Square. Eyes, elbow, follow through. 1, 2, 3. Every time I shoot, square, eyes, elbow, follow through. 1, 2, 3. By counting to 3, every time I release the ball, I've actually trained myself to keep my follow through extended. That helped me become a better shooter. The last part to the follow through is what your left hand or your off hand is doing. When I shoot the ball, this left hand, as I mentioned earlier, is resting gently on the side of the ball. If you look technically at your hands, when I'm ready to shoot, my shooting thumb, which is my right thumb, and the thumb of my off hand together make the letter T with about an inch between them. If I were to connect them, I can see the letter T. So the proper place to have your left hand is where all the seams meet on the side of the ball, just an inch or two above your other thumb. It's resting there nice and loosely. When I shoot, this left hand just drops to the side. It's not involved with the shot. My right hand does all of the work. Left hand, after I release, just goes to the side. See that from up here, near the basket? I'm balanced, my eyes are focused, coil, shot. Left hand just goes to the side. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. You'll notice my left hand isn't even in sight. 1, 2, 3. It is down by the side, away from the shot. It's not involved with the shot any longer. It helps me put the ball onto my shooting hand, coil, 1, 2, 3. So to have a proper follow through, it takes a few things. 1, you have to extend and have your arms straight. 2, you need to firmly flip your wrist over the top, your fingers pointing down, your fingers are open. You need to get as much backspin as you can onto your shot by rolling the ball off your fingertips. 3, you need to hold your follow through. A count of 3 will help you. 1, 2, 3. And the last thing is to make sure that your left hand stays out of the way, off to the side. Well, there you have it, the 4 steps to becoming a better shooter. Beef, balance, eyes, elbow, follow through. Hopefully that word will get in your brain and you'll be able to remember it and practice it the right way. If you practice it as hard as I did, the sky really is the limit for you. I'm no longer a player. I am now a college basketball coach. And I can tell you, one of the things I look for right away at a tryout is a girl that can shoot. If you can shoot the ball correctly, it can overcome a lot of obstacles in this sport. It won't matter how tall you are or how fast you are if you can shoot the ball and put it in. Good luck with your shooting.
Hopefully this video will help you shoot the basketball as well as Sarah does. If you practice her techniques, the sky is the limit. If you would like more help on your shooting and on other areas of the game, Sarah runs several programs in the summer and fall that will interest you. The Sarah Behn Basketball Camp is in its 6th year of operation and now has 7 convenient locations. Players come from all over the state and New England to work on fundamental skills and improve their overall level of play. For a free brochure about the camps, please call 508-541-2185 or write to Sarah Behn Basketball Camp, 1 Harlow Pond Court, Franklin, Massachusetts, 02038. You can also visit Sarah's website address at www.behncamp.com. Good luck, and thanks for watching the Sarah Behn shooting video.